Gustafsson. And challenging him for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship, one of the greatest fighters in MMA history, the former 205-pound title holder, he's back, Jon Jones. In the co-headliner of this massive pay-per-view event, a super fight between two of the best female fighters in the world. Introducing first, the UFC Bantamweight Champion, Amanda Lioness Nunes. Nunes moves up to featherweight to face the reigning, defending women's 145-pound champion of the world, Cris Cyborg.
We appreciate it. Who has the first question? Go ahead, buddy.
First question here for Jon. In these next 8 weeks, as the fight builds up and the hype builds up, there'll be plenty of discussion and commentary about you and your history. I'm wondering, is that something you try to block out or something that you focus on as a source of motivation?
I just try to block it out. First of all, New York, what's up, guys? It's good to be home. Sorry that I'm not fighting at this event, but I promise you guys I will fight at the Garden soon. That's a promise. Even though I'll have to pay 9% to the government, I'll do it. As far as all the controversy and all the shit that I've just got out of, I just try to block it out. At the end of the day, I'm here, I'm in the present, and I'm back on the mission that I've always been on. That's to solidify my spot as one of the greatest fighters ever.
Go ahead,
Jon. Welcome back. Was there ever a chance that you could have headlined this event this weekend in MSG? What was the process there?
Yeah, we talked about fighting this weekend at MSG, but I wasn't ready to go. I wasn't in the shape I wanted to be in, and so we just waited a few more months.
Dan was fighting for the heavyweight title, he's defending his belt. He said that if he loses the heavyweight title, he can still go back down and defend the 205-pound title. And I wanted to get your reaction to that.
Cormier said if he loses
the heavyweight belt, he can go back down to light heavyweight, keep that belt, and defend it next.
Cormier said that he can go back down to light heavyweight at any point
and defend that belt.
Defend the belt?
Title this weekend.
Defend the belt that was never his? I don't understand how that works. If Daniel Cormier wants to come back down to light heavyweight, he'll challenge one of the contenders, for my belt.
You would not grant him a shot.
And again?
You would not grant him a fight in that case.
There's no reason to grant him a fight. He got knocked out the last time we fought.
And just last thing, Jon, I know that you and your team weren't happy with some of the reports that came out about the USADA news and how it was depicted. Do you want to clarify anything about what that report said and what your perspective was?
No, I don't want to clarify anything. I felt like I said what I had to say about the situation. It was a nightmare to go through. So glad that it's over. And I'm just focusing on the positive things in life, like having my job back and being able to get back on that mission that I was on when I first joined the UFC, which is being the greatest fighter ever.
And just for Cris, real quick, you and Amanda have kind of gone back and forth on social media a little bit. Where did this bad blood stem from? Have you guys always disliked each other? Where did that come from?
I don't have any problem. I just accept to fight her when I fly her home. And she asked me for 9 months for training for this fight. And I think when you call somebody out, they have to be ready. You don't have to meet you with 9 months for the ready.
I give my time, you know, I have to be ready for her. She's strong, she's powerful, I have to be ready, you know. And I give my time, my day, and they accept. Now we are here, ready to go.
Jon, the last time you fought Alex, you spoke a lot about how you maybe didn't take the fight the most seriously. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that, and how are things different in your preparation to fight him this time around?
Yeah, the last time I fought Alexander Gustafsson, a lot of people, I remember the media was saying, this guy's he's a lot like Jon Jones, he's tall, he's lanky, he can move and everything like that. And in my head, I just kind of, I was hot, I was on a roll, and I just figured, maybe he fights a lot like me, but he's not me, And so, I didn't train as hard as I should have, and I just, like I said, I was winning so many fights, I was being a wild dude, and I was still winning, and it caught up to me. It definitely caught
excuses, only excuses. That's all I got. That's all I know. I beat you once, I beat you again.
I guess this could be for both Jon and Alex. Jon, this has probably been your most competitive fight you've had, the first one. So how do you see it going down? Are you aiming for a more thorough, dominant performance this time?
Say it again.
Jon,
It's hard to hear up here for us.
the first fight was probably one of your closest ever. Is the goal this time around to make it much more clear-cut and dominant?
Yeah, the goal is to finish this fight, and that's what I will do. I will finish this fight.
Just your take on this. This is your third chance at a UFC title. The first two didn't go your way. Why is this time going to be different?
Well, I'm very fortunate to have a third time fight for the belt again, and fighting Jon, it's the biggest fight of my life, and I respected him too much the first fight we fought. This fight, I'm not going to give him the respect I gave him the first time. I will push him, and I will show the world you can beat the man that's never been beaten before.
And one for Dana. Dana, in your opinion, up there, is this the greatest male?
I got a question for you, Alex.
Amen.
So, if my excuse was that I didn't train hard enough, what's your excuse for losing?
That's where you're wrong. I didn't lose, Jon. We all know that. I didn't lose.
One for you, Dana. In your opinion, is this the greatest male and female fighter in the world sitting up there, up to your right?
Listen, if you look at what Jon Jones has accomplished at the time, all the things that Jon Jones was doing when he accomplished these things, it's pretty amazing. But we talked about this yesterday on ESPN. It's true, there's a lot of things. To go down as the greatest ever, Jon now has the opportunity to come back and erase all the mistakes that he's made in his younger career. And, we'll see what happens. Alexander Gustafsson, when we made this fight was in Canada. When we made this fight, everybody was bitching about this fight. This fight was terrible, everything else. It ended up being one of the greatest, if not the greatest light heavyweight championship ever. I'm excited that we can make this fight again. And props to both guys for taking it. Jon coming off a huge layoff and all the problems that he's had, to come back and fight Alexander Gustafsson. It's awesome. I'm excited.
And just one more for you, Dana, off topic a little bit. We have this Ben Askren for Demetrius Johnson trade that happened. Can you just elaborate on what happened there, how it went down, and what Ben Askren could potentially make his UFC debut?
I don't really want to get into all that right now. We're talking about these fights, but relax, New York. So Demetrius Johnson, I said the other day, I felt like, the guy never got the respect he deserved here, all the things that he's accomplished. He was never truly happy, and where he's going now, his longtime trainer and friend Matt Hume is one of the executives in this company, and hopefully he'll be a lot happier there than he was here. He broke world records, he accomplished a lot in this company, and then Ben Askren and I have had a very interesting past, and he hit me up about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, 6 months ago, and said, am I ever going to be able to fight in the UFC? And I said, I don't know. That's not up to me. He was still under contract. He retired, and he was still under contract. So this is just one of those things that organically came together, and we made it work for everybody, and here we go.
Alex, Alex, when I've spoken to you in the past, you've told me that fighting Jon and beating Jon was more important to you than winning the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. You get the chance to do both at this fight, but why was that your mindset?
Well, I got the same mindset right now. It's I'm fighting for the belt, and that's huge. That's massive. You know, it's the biggest fight of my life, and I'm fighting Jon. It's even bigger. You know, because I got the opportunity to fight him again. I got an opportunity to beat him, and I can show the world he's beatable. He bleeds like everyone else, and I'm going to show it tonight. I promise you.
And like Mike said, this is your third title shot. Are you viewing this as your last chance at the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship?
No, just getting started.
And for Jon, can I just start by asking what you've learned most about yourself during this recent absence?
That was good.
No more dick pills!
No more dick pills. I'm good, huh? More foreplay. Let's see here. What have I learned? I've learned that I've learned to put what's most important first, and that's my family.
Okay.
That's my family. That's it. Keep my family first. Keep God and family first.
And what do you miss most about being in the UFC and being a professional fighter?
What do I miss most about? All you guys, really. It's good to be here, man. I feel a lot of energy, even as I sit here. So I missed all you guys.
Dana White yesterday said that if you beat Alex, it'll be hard to deny you as the greatest fighter of all time. Are you viewing this as a legacy cementing fight?
No, I don't. I try not to make any fight the biggest fight of my career. My fight is the fight to be the best ever, and that comes with every fight. You know, just last time I was up here was against Daniel Cormier. He had so much to prove and all this shit. And I don't worry about individual athletes. I worry about the journey, not the individual battles. So I'm already way ahead of this fight here. You know, Gustafsson doesn't define me. I have a lot of fighting to do. So that's where my head's at. Just becoming the best.
Question for Amanda. Amanda, if you beat Cris, what is the future going to look like for you? Will you stay at featherweight? Will you stay at bantamweight? Will you move up and down divisions? What's the plan?
You know, my energy is focused for this fight first, and then after that we can talk about. But definitely, I will get this belt home with me. I'm here for that. Then what's giving me this opportunity, and you know I'll be able to do this, and I will prove it.
Let's see that. Let's see that.
I will do it. I will do it.
You 9 months of training for that.
That's why I asked for 9 months.
Yes, yes. Keep working hard.
I'm gonna be there ready for you.
And make sure you be there, because I know you pull out before it fights. Make sure you're gonna be there. I'm gonna believe you when you beat the cage. When you beat the cage, you close the door, I know you're gonna be there.
I will be there.
I know. I hear the story before. Take weight and then you'll fight. I hear that.
I will be there, and I will be there. I will be there. That's why I asked for the fight, because I
They can't sign this, but I have a problem with it.
I signed the contract because I will be there.
Yeah, they can.
I will.
Amanda Nunes, you're there. Just to follow up on that, you've beaten Misha Tate, you've beaten Ronda Rousey. If you beat Cris Cyborg, do you think that makes you the best female fighter of all time?
Definitely. You know, I'm here for that. That's why I asked for the fight, because I want to be remembered the best female ever. You know, champion. I wanted these 2 belts for sure, and I wanted my name in the Hall of Fame in the Performance Institute. I wanted my name in that registries for everybody reminding me.
Thank you. Jon, before UFC 214, I asked you about fighting Brock Lesnar, and you said, first I'm going to deal with DC, and then I'm going to deal with Brock Lesnar. You didn't get that opportunity. Is that a fight you still want?
Yeah, I would like to fight Brock Lesnar still. Absolutely. I think Brock Lesnar is one of the most entertaining guys. You know, people want to see him in the UFC because entertaining guys. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the opportunity to still compete against Brock Lesnar.
Dana, just to follow up on that, we've seen that Brock Lesnar was performing this evening in Saudi Arabia. Is he welcome tomorrow at UFC 230?
Yeah, people keep asking me that, but he's not coming here. He's not coming to the fight.
Just back to Jon as well. DC's been talking this week about potentially wanting a third fight with you, maybe at heavyweight. Is that of interest? Would you like that fight?
I would fight DC at heavyweight, but I feel like I have nothing to prove. I've beaten him twice, and I feel like fighting him at heavyweight is putting all the cards in his favor. I have nothing to prove against Daniel Cormier. I always say that a lot of this fighting is not personal to me. You know, my goals are just to be great. It's not about these individual rivals. So me challenging Daniel Cormier would be making it a personal thing. If he had beat me, then I could see me challenging him. But it's like I've done enough to that guy. I'm gonna let him breathe easy. And
Just one last one for Alex. Alex, you fought Jon Jones before. You fought Daniel Cormier before. Who's the tougher fight?
No, the guy lied to me. He's a tough opponent, but that makes the whole thing much more funner for me.
Did you beat DC as well?
I will beat you. I will beat you.
No, I mean, we had a close fight. Do you consider that you get ripped off in the DC fight as well?
It was a split decision. I lost, but I will beat you.
But you did beat me when you lost to DC.
Whatever it is, yeah, I did. But I beat you.
What about Anthony Johnson? Did you beat him?
No, but I still beat him. It's all about our fight.
What about Phil Davis? Did you beat him too?
I beat you.
I'm just trying to give you a psychological fight.
That's the only thing that counts. Nothing else, John. Just making sure it's just the past.
For you, John, coming back after this long layoff, I mean, time and time off can really damage a fighter. How do you know that it's not going to affect you for this one?
Because I've been training my butt off this whole time. I've been boxing nonstop, and I feel like that's been one of the biggest holes in my game is my hands, and I feel like I've closed that hole up a lot. I'm still not, a world-class boxer, but it's a lot better than it used to be. So I've been boxing all summer, and I can feel it in my sparring already that my hands have completely changed, my defensively and offensively.
Are you sure?
No, I think so.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. There you go, personality. Keep going. And then, I took off a year before knocking out Daniel Cormier, so I feel confident in myself. And then the other time when I was out a year, I won by unanimous decision against Open St. Cruz. So every time I've been out for a long time, I've always come back and showed up. I feel like fighting's in my spirit, it's in my heart. It's something that God blessed me with. So it's not going anywhere.
Dana said something interesting about, winning allows you to somewhat erase the mistakes of your youth. Do you feel like those can be erased, or you just want to embrace that they happen and move on?
I don't feel like they can be erased, no. But I do feel like society that we live in, people are able to forgive and forget as long as you show signs of trying to do better and trying to move forward. At the end of the day, we all have done things that we're not proud of, and that we've all made mistakes. The difference with being who I am is that you can Google me and figure out what's going on in my life. So I don't beat myself up over anything that's happened throughout my life. I forgive myself. I think it's very important to be able to do. And like I said, we all make mistakes. It's about what we do moving forward. I have a lot more chapters left in my book to write.
Thank you so much, John. For you, I know when we talked after you tried to make this fighter day, announced it in December, around September, you were pretty upset. What happened to sort of calm you down and say, I'm okay, and wait until December for this fight to take place?
The first thing, the UFC called me, my manager, for a fight on September 8th. And the other thing, I agreed fight in Yana Konaskaya in 3 weeks notice for a fight on Monday, July. And this is nothing happened. And they accepted to fight her September 8th. After she's calling me out 6 months before. And she said no, and she signed the deal for 5 December. And you know fighters, you don't have the option, have to wait, to keep training and wait. But she's gonna pay in December.
How do you win the fight?
I trained for everything. I had 5 rounds. And I watched a couple fights with Amanda, and I know she likes to do depression, but she don't like them her fighters put pressure on her. And I'm depression. When she did the best punch on me, I'm not gonna be depression. She's gonna feel that.
Thank you so much.
Over here, John. Just want to get your thoughts on the main event this weekend between Derek Lewis and Daniel Cormier. How do you think it's going to play out, and what's your prediction?
I'm a big fan of Derek Lewis. I gotta say that. Hilarious. My balls are hot. That's great. That's classic. I think, like, I'm a PR nightmare, right? If I were to say my balls were hot, it just wouldn't have gone over the same way. Like, but he pulled it off and it's become a sensation. I love it. I'm so confused with PR and all this shit. It's just not my thing.
I would prefer my balls are hot over some of your PR nights.
I do have DC winning the fight. DC is very fast. For his frame, you wouldn't assume that he's fast, but he's quick and very well rounded. And that's the key to being on top of this game. You got to be able to do everything, and that's what DC has done very well. So DC is going to win, more than likely.
Just a follow-up question. While you've been away, have you been watching the light heavyweight division? What do you make of guys like Anthony Smith, guys like Luke Rockhold possibly moving up into the division?
Nice. Yeah, Luke would be a great addition. He's a very talented dude. Anthony Smith, I saw his last fight. I've been reading some of the comments he's been saying about me publicly or whatnot. And yeah, I don't think he's at the point where he needs to be yet. Volkan's not known to be a ground specialist, and he was handling Anthony on the ground for a long time. So things like that shows me that Anthony is not ready to fight against me. But I'm more than willing to make him my first title defense after I beat Alexander.
Dana, just a question for you. If Derek Lewis wins this weekend, would he then fight Brock Lesnar, or would Brock Lesnar still have this fight with DC?
I don't know. We'd have to see how that whole thing plays out. Again, when I was on ESPN yesterday, they thought it was absolutely impossible that Derek Lewis wins this fight, which is crazy to say in this sport. Derek Lewis is one punch away from winning any fight. So it could absolutely happen, and we'll see what happens if it does.
Will you be watching Curtis Blade's performance in China, sort of factoring in as well what happens next?
Of course.
Just a question for Chris. Chris, over here. We know there's been rumors for a while that you're looking at possibly retiring eventually after a few more fights. How many more fights do you think you'll stick around for if you do beat Amanda and sort of conquer that aspect of the fight game?
You know, I don't have bad injuries, I don't have any injuries. I think I can fight more 5 years, I keep going. For my fans, I love my job. And people think when I say I would like to fight a boxing fight, people think I want to retire. No, I don't want to retire, I want to keep fighting MMA. It's my dream, maybe one boxing fight. And because I love boxing, I train every day, and I would like to have this opportunity. But this does not mean that I want to retire MMA. I have a long career, and I continue to fight. And I'm happy. I love my job.
One more. Go ahead, buddy.
Alex, since your first fight with Jon, twice he's been suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. Although critics are split on whether they believe his reasonings or believe it affected his legacy, what's your personal opinion? All those two suspensions and whether Jon was a clean fighter when you fought.
I don't care about that. It's in the past. I don't care about that at all. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to face Jon. And we're going to have a greater fight than the first one. I can promise you that.
We have one more. I know we may not care about this, but Brock Lesnar recaptured one of the WWE championships this morning in Saudi Arabia. Will he be allowed to wear that?
I did not know that. Thank you. I don't think Vince would let him wear that. I gotta be honest with you. He can bring whatever belt he wants to bring. I could care less. Hey, we're gonna square these guys off, and then we'll get the weigh